Welcome to Reuters Insider at the Baltic Development Forum in Vilnius. One of key participants here is Anders Eldrup, one of most important figures in the Danish economy and the chief executive of Dong Energy and architect of the company's 30-year strategy of refocusing on wind and cleaner energies. Anders Eldrup, who is joining me now here. Mr. Eldrup, do you think there's enough appetite here from the companies to invest in renewables when the oil price is quite high?
Yes, I think high oil prices will improve the appetite for renewables. So, of course, we had the big disappointment in Copenhagen last December, where we had hoped for a big climate agreement. We didn't get that, but my impression is that people are still engaged to go the green way. At least we are.
But you are. But do you see globally that companies, there's a lot of investment coming from fossil fuel production to cleaner energy production?
Well, I think a lot of my colleagues are taking a time out and looking what is happening. But what I have looked into is, for instance, in the United Kingdom, the election campaign that has just been there, I didn't see any signals in that campaign from any of the three major parties to change the rules of the game. So I think the rules are there and we are going to progress.
But you are pushing for that cleaner, greener drive. Do you have any support from any governments? You clearly don't have a support from the UK government, from what you're saying. Do you have any support from the governments of the countries you're operating in that cleaner drive?
Yes, there are rules of the game. For instance, in the UK, you have the ROC system, and we are basing our investments on that. In Germany, there's a different system. In Denmark, a third one. So we take the systems as they are, and we allocate our investments where we find the best opportunities.
You still produce 85% of your electricity with fossil fuel. By what margin do you think that percentage will shrink in the next 10 years, let's say?
I think it will be 50-50. Today it's 85 on the fossils and 15 on the renewables. And in 10 years' time, my target is that it should be 50-50.
Last year you opened the world's biggest offshore wind farm in the North Sea. How many similar farms do you want to open over what period of time?
For the time being, we are engaged in the Vilnius project in the UK, which is 2 times as big as the world's biggest from last year. We are engaged in the London Array, which is 3 times as big. We are also engaged in links together with Centrica, so we are working on 3 very big parks for the time being.
But do you see a threat in escalating costs of this technology? That it will become less attractive?
Yes, of course, we have to be careful, but we are working to, this offshore industry is yet quite an immature industry. We are the market leader. We have been doing most of what has been done out there, and we are struggling hard to bring down costs and to make it more efficient. And I'm sure we can do something in that respect.
There's a lot of talk about cleaner energy, obviously, after the BP's disaster in Louisiana. You are involved in similar deep-sea drilling projects in the North Sea. What should energy companies do in Europe to prevent this from happening here?
Of course, we must be very, very careful. And in Europe, there are very strong restrictions from the authorities about the way you run such operations. So it's very well overviewed by the authorities in Europe. That's the first thing. But I think what comes out of the incident in the Mexican Gulf is that it will increase insurance premiums, it will increase the regulatory framework around such things. So all over the renewable side will be more competitive from incidents like this.
But from the point of view of this traditional fossil fuel, oil and gas extraction, it will become much more expensive to extract.
I think there will be more regulations, more costly, demanding things that we have to take care of, which will make that sort of development more costly.
How quickly that regulation will change, do you think?
Well, I don't know actually, but I know in the North Sea we already have a very tough regulation on that point.
Does it differ very much from the regulation that existed in the Gulf of Mexico?
Well, we are not operating in the Gulf of Mexico, so I'm not the right one to be specific on that.
Okay, but do you think that the world's energy production industry will see serious structural changes after Louisiana?
Well, I'm not sure. I think we have to have some time out to find out how big is the catastrophe and what are the learnings from it before we make definite conclusions.
How big do you think it is?
So the knowledge I have, but that's mostly from newspapers, then it seems to be quite big.
So are you preparing, at your company, are you preparing for some long-reaching consequences of this?
Well, we are doing a similar drilling this summer on the Danish shelf, very deep, high temperature, but that is gas we are going for. So should we be unlucky, we'll do all we can to prevent it, but should that take place, it will be a minor disaster because it's easier with gas and oil.
Thank you very much. Anders Eldrup, the Chief Executive of Dong Energy here in Vilnius, and join me later for more interviews from the Baltic Summit here in the Lithuanian capital. For example, the Lithuanian Prime Minister Andris Kubilius, who told last week that his country may become the next Greece. I will speak to him later today. Here in Vilnius, I'm Kiryl Sukhotski. This is